Hello, everybody. We are live on Smark City Podcast talking this generally shit show and the meh Toronto takeover. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit. Uh, I'm with Alex and say hello, Alex.
Hi.
That's hello, whatever
Hi.
whatever we call that. A zombie-esque hello.
You got your Walking Dead on the brain, huh?
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a few weeks, so it just yeah. So anyway, Survivor Series happens, and to steal a popular line from what culture? What just happened?
Don't steal from them. Those
Uh,
guys do good shit. Don't steal.
yeah, they were right. So Brock Lesnar has been defeated. The Beast has been slayed. But one of us thinks that good things are going to come from this, and one of us thinks that the same old shit is going to come from this.
Well, first off, let's preface this by saying I didn't see the match. I had quit out on the show long before that because it wasn't a good show. I left after the tag team match, I think. I just I mean, it just wasn't fun. It was supposed to be a night of stakes and things happening, and then nothing happened except for the same shit that you expected to happen. Like if you wanted to be cynical, that's exactly what happened. So, uh, I mean, I don't know. So I didn't see the men's thing, and Drew was trying to fill me in before we got in on this. I didn't see the whatchamacallit, uh, Goldberg Lesnar match. I heard what happened, so we'll talk about it that way. But yep, I don't know what else
Yeah,
to say.
basically, I didn't see some portions of this show as well. I didn't see most of the tag match and half of whatever was before the tag match, which see I don't even remember, so it doesn't matter at this point. Um, LOL, silly fourth grade tag team bickering with each other all the time, end up winning. I think that's kind of funny.
I
Um,
mean, I just I have, and some of it's just like get over it. You can't always get your way and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's just like, my God, why is it that no one that I like ever wins? It's always the people that Vince is apparently high on and shit. And like, okay, SmackDown's been having cool stuff happen, and it would create like they've been having better feuds, so it feels like Raw needs to lose so that their feuds can be escalated, so that people give a shit about Raw. And then nope, just gonna have Raw win everything. And I was just like, all right, I'm done with this shit. I don't need this. Um, I don't know. So let's talk about this shit that you wanted to talk about because you're the one who wanted to do this. I wanted to just fucking write papers for classes, but what did you? What is it that was so great that you wanted to talk about?
well, firstly, I, I think judging from the past 3 minutes, we know who thinks that Brock losing was good and is going to change things.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Brock, as I've named this, the end of the Brock era.
Is
It's
that the name?
basically
Oh my god.
Brock is buried and done,
Is he?
and that was his maybe not done, but the aura of Heyman just coming in and talking shit and leaving, and then Brock coming and squashing somebody, and then going over somebody that he didn't need to go over. That's absolutely done.
We'll see.
And Alex just thinks that tomorrow night, Heyman's going to come out, demand a rematch. Someone will call out Lesnar. Lesnar will come out and squash them, and same old shit. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that this was Brock's punishment. I think the punishment that we
I
all thought we weren't going to see. This is the punishment right here.
I've seen people saying that, and I think you're just putting don't assume anything in terms of Vince. Like don't think you know what he's thinking because he's fucking crazy. And
Well, now hold on though. Aren't you assuming that the same shit is going to happen tomorrow?
I'm just being cynical because that's what I'm trained to do by WWE. I'm not assuming that I know what he's going to do. I'm just saying, well, it seems like anytime I get excited, the shittiest thing possible happens. So that's what I'm assuming happens here. You know what I mean?
I understand. And you know what? From a certain moment on, I was completely on your side with that. And I was just hate watching the show. The whole night, I really would just hate watching the show. But actually, interestingly enough, it was a moment in the 5-on-5 men's elimination match that kind of brought me back a little bit, and it was a Shield reunion. Now, let me talk to you about that match.
Okay.
Jesus Christ! Can you do
that's
your?
me wanting to. That's me having complicated emotions happening in my head. I want Shield reunion, but I'm pretty sure it happened poorly. So
well, let's see if that's actually the case. So the first man that was eliminated in general, period, out of all teams, was Dean Ambrose.
did he turn on fucking Styles? Is that what happened?
He did not turn on Styles, but they did brawl, which led to Braun crushing him. And
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Was it them being bitches? And
yeah,
was that what it was? Okay. All right.
Shane McMahon did some crazy shit tonight.
What did he do?
He jumped from the top onto, or not, I'm sorry, no, he tried to do that, but then Strowman choke slammed him from the top rope onto the mat. He did that table spot that he always does in matches, when
Okay. Yeah, where he jumps from the turnbuckle onto a table.
he did that to Braun. And then he tried to do a coast to coast on Roman Reigns. And Roman,
I don't think that went well.
It didn't, because that was a really bad moment, actually. Roman Reigns speared him in the air, and
sounds like what I was thinking. And
Shane really slammed down on the mat really hard and might have a concussion.
Wonderful. Well, I mean, I remember watching him against Taker and just being like, he just falls horribly. So, yeah.
The spear looked pretty good, I have to say. But, and then the weird thing that happened there was Roman was supposed to pin him, but I guess because he was kind of out of it a little bit, he actually lifted his shoulder up. And the rest had to stop the count.
Oh my God. I bet that looks horrible.
It kind of looked like everything was at a standstill for a moment, and then they just called it on the fly and said that he was injured, and they came and took him, and he was eliminated. So now let me talk to you about Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman did really well in this match.
Okay.
But how was Braun Strowman eliminated? That is the question.
Well, I told you before we got on here, I don't think anybody pinned him. I don't think he tapped out. So I think it was some kind of weird shit. I'm guessing everybody ganged up on him. I bet, like I said beforehand, I think that he was probably one of the first, if not the first, Raw guy eliminated, because that's generally how the big monster people go in these matches that WWE just books the exact same fucking way every time. I fucking destroy everyone. I pin one or two guys, and then all of a sudden they gang up and they get me. So I'm betting something along those lines happened.
James Ellsworth was under the ring and grabbed his feet, and he missed the 10 count.
But okay, that's fucking okay. But what had gotten him out of the ring for a 10 count anyway?
When I think it was after Shane, he was down for a while. If maybe Goldie or somebody can correct me because I have already forgotten. I think it was he was down the whole time on the table after Shane did that move, and then he was getting into the ring, and that's when Ellsworth grabbed his legs. I might have been that, or there might have been something else. But he was out. Yeah, he was on the outside for a little bit. They did a lot of brawling in this thing. It was really like all over the place. And
did he? So was he the first one for Raw eliminated?
I believe he was. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay. All right. So that leaves KO, Jericho, Reigns, Rollins. So I'm guessing that KO and Jericho had some kind of issue because that just
They did not actually, and it didn't go the way I thought it was going to when I predicted it. But there was dissension. But it's kind of a stupid way that there was dissension.
Of course it was. Go ahead.
Owens was the second man eliminated, which I didn't expect.
I don't think he got pinned. Again, I don't think
he did get pinned.
They're pinning Owens.
He did.
Okay, so what happened?
He got pinned, and oh no, I'm sorry, he didn't get pinned. Wow. He used the list of Jericho to attack somebody, and he got disqualified.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. Oh my God. You see, now that I completely forgot about it because it was so stupid, I put it out.
This is why I left. This is why I called it a night. Okay, so.
Meanwhile, everyone was attacking everybody and doing all these moves and all this stuff, and that was fine. But because Jericho used the clipboard, because Owens used the clipboard, he got eliminated, basically. The ref just threw him out.
Oh my God. I'm feeling like post-traumatic hatred disorder.
And because of that, no, but now here's where the dissension comes in. Okay. Because of that.
Wait, so he used the list to get disqualified.
Well, not to get disqualified.
But he gets disqualified for using the list.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
So,
you don't even remember the match. Why am I even asking you?
So what happened after that was Jericho was so distraught that the list was all over the place because all the papers came out and he was trying to collect it and whatnot. He is collecting them all and he looks back at Owens, who's already gone, but he looks back up the ramp and with this like anger in his eyes that the list was destroyed. And Randy Orton slithers in and RKOs him out of nowhere.
Oh, he's out of it because it's always out of nowhere.
Yeah. It wasn't really out of nowhere.
Well, okay.
And then pins him, and then Jericho gets eliminated. So the final two for Raw were Roman and Seth. What a shock! And then it was
how bad did I know Toronto and Canada in general are pretty marky. How bad they boo Roman?
They booed him. They gave him a Roman sleeping chant. They gave him
good job, Canada. I like you.
That's
why I want to move to you.
Wake up, Roman.
Wake up, Roman. I see that. Cool. I might have to go back to watch it just for that.
And it was just the two of them versus Shane, AJ, Orton, and Wyatt.
Okay.
So they did their shit and whatever, and
and whatever. Yeah, that's
And
about right.
then Roman and Seth are going to put AJ through a table, like in the old Shield way.
Yep.
But then the Wyatt Norton attack, and then Dean comes back out and attacks AJ because, that just had to happen. And then security comes out, a bunch of refs to pull them apart. And then Seth and Roman beat up on the security.
Oh, and there's your okay, and there's your whatchamacallit,
And
Shield
then
reunion.
they all do the triple power bomb
Right.
into to the table on AJ.
Wonderful.
And that eliminates AJ when they put him in the ring and pin him.
Well, that sounds.
It was actually all right.
I mean, I bet it was okay. I'm just saying. I'm just from a perspective of
The crowd actually popped for it.
yeah, but like can you understand where I'm like?
Yes,
So you
because it's not the first time that it's happening.
it doesn't solve any of the problems with any of the three characters. It's just I mean, maybe hopefully that means they hear that pop and they're like, oh, cool, they still like the Shield. Cool, we'll redo the Shield. I don't know, man. I just don't feel like. I think whenever you're asking yourself, okay, we're gonna have a Shield reunion because they've been holding off on it for a long time. What are you trying to accomplish with it? Was there anything accomplished today? Was there anything that it helped? Like, did it provide any kind of help to any of the characters? I doubt it from what I'm hearing.
Not really, no.
Okay, let me put it this way. So they had Ambrose come back out, and then he probably left after, right? Because then I'm guessing AJ Styles was done at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ambrose leaves, then it's back down to Rollins Reigns. So did they magically start cheering Reigns?
No.
Exactly. So
because
I don't know, man. Like I can't say it was great. I'd have to see. I'm gonna have to go see it later when I've got time to tell you for sure. But like, if it's not helping these people, why do it at all? But that's the thing, is they can't help them as they are now. So,
well, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry. This did help one person.
Who?
This helped Bray Wyatt, actually.
Explain.
Bray Wyatt got the winning pin.
On who?
Roman.
Okay. Well, that's good, I guess. So basically, it came down to Shields Wyatt.
Yeah.
Right? And the Wyatt family has always had their number. So
because Luke Harper made a surprise appearance in it as well.
Well.
But he didn't play a huge role. He did not play a role in either pinning of Seth or Roman. So, if for that, then I would say, because usually like the whole shtick is everyone always helps Wyatt win, and it means nothing.
Yeah.
But in this case, it actually wasn't what happened. It wasn't an interference solely that made Wyatt win, which makes it, like cancel it out,
Better. Yeah. Well, I guess that's good. Cool deal. So basically SmackDown wins because of Bray Wyatt?
And the Wyatt family, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So they beat. Okay, so let me recap. Strowman defeated because of Chin Dude. Okay. That's all right. Jericho KO are heading towards a breakup in the shittiest way ever. Okay. Again, thinking that the fucking the fucking list is more over than anybody on the show.
Yeah.
So that's not good. and then and then Shane gets hurt, and then Wyatt's and Shield. Do you get why I'm a little like I can't get my words together because I'm just confused.
It was very confusing.
So, I mean, pardon me if I'm being weird here, but I don't know, man. It just sounds off. Does that make sense? It just sounds weird.
There were, yeah, I mean, it dragged in multiple occasions. Like, it was like, all right, by the time Shane got speared and injured, it was already too long. And there were still other people that had to be eliminated before this could go on. I mean, that was like 40 to 45 minutes, and this match went an hour at least.
So, wait, the match went an hour?
Yeah. They did a lot of brawling.
What?
A lot of brawling, a lot of spots, a lot of
I'm confused.
hanging around.
I'm confused. This is weird.
Well, basically, they made us think that they were dragging it on just so that this way Brock and Goldberg could have some sort of a match, because nobody could call that Goldberg was going to win in under a minute on this one. No, nobody. Anyone who says that is a liar.
Okay, so. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm just confused on what to say. I don't have words, man.
That's the basic feeling on the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So just fuck that shit. I don't like any of it really. It sounds like it was better than it probably could have been, but it's still not good. So, okay.
Yeah,
so
it was
talk about the Goldberg Brock thing so that I can have some context of what's going on there.
So Goldberg's entrance was longer than the match.
Yeah, that's old school Goldberg. Okay. So it was basically just an old school Goldberg match.
It really was. When you boil it down to bare bones, it was a standard classic Goldberg match.
Okay, so like I get why you think that like, oh, Lesnar, it's over. Well, he did this to Hulk Hogan, and he did this to Sting. Like this isn't like, I mean, maybe I'm just being dumb for having a transitive effect on his career to now, but like that's not new.
So what? So you think that a 45-second squash match being done to Brock Lesnar, the guy who defeated the Streak, the guy who squashed John Cena, the guy who has been basically on a rampage on the locker room and has put multiple people, like underneath the floor just because he's Brock Lesnar. Like Dean, he underperformed in the WrestleMania match with Dean Ambrose. He's just been boring and
how are you saying that he underperformed in the Dean Ambrose match? Like I don't,
because he did barely anything in that match. And
he did what he's been called to do. He did exactly what he's been called to do, which is basically break people. I know there's rumors of Ambrose saying he wanted to do a bunch of stuff and Lesnar wouldn't help him out and all that stuff, but that's different.
There's not rumors. Dean literally said that.
Well, no, that's what I mean, but he said it, but I don't have verification from anyone else. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think part of it goes to who are you blaming for Lesnar's staleness of late, and I don't blame him necessarily. I blame the WWE for not like having any kind of fucking wherewithal. They just do the same thing until it gets old, and then they just are like, okay, well, guess this person doesn't matter anymore, and they throw them to the curb, and it's just dumb. So I don't know what to say really from that perspective. I just think that I don't think he's underperformed really. I think it's just they've done the same thing and they've gone to the well too many times.
But this is not the same thing though. This is very different from what they've done.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying is I'm saying that they finally seem to have they finally reached the point where they're like, okay, it's time to do something different with him. In some capacity. Look, man, they've had these kind of shocking moments before and nothing really comes of it. So I'm wary, and it's just because the show tonight was not good. And the shows on Raw have not been good lately, and SmackDown's been above average, but I wouldn't call SmackDown just a revelation by any means. It's just soothing because it works like, oh shit, this is what a wrestling show is supposed to be like. Cool. So, I mean, I'm not just totally thinking that they've fixed everything, you know? I would be shocked if this turns out being as good as you think it's going to be. Does that make sense? Some of it is I'm not watched the match, but I have a hard time in you thinking, like, you're like, dude, this is crazy. But I'm like, I've watched Goldberg before, so I'm figuring it was it just sounds like a normal Goldberg match. So I think it's more about, hey, now we've got Goldberg for another match. Because that's what I've read. I've read rumors of like, you know, they like the reception that Goldberg's got. They want to potentially do something else with him. And I'm like, okay, so that's clearly Mania. And so that's what this feels like. It feels like they set up for a WrestleMania match. Whether it's either with Goldberg or someone else. Probably fucking Roman Reigns, because that's what they do. But, you know.
Well, I just, you know, it's, and you know what else too? It's also, it's kind of like, I feel like we've been slapped in our faces a little too much when it comes to Brock. And now I feel like he's finally gotten slapped a little bit.
Why? Why do you think he got slapped? He's making millions of dollars.
Okay, look, yeah, he this is all fake and shit. Yeah. Ooh, you know, I'm not the it's still with me, damn it person. He got squashed.
Yeah, but okay, forgive me, but like this is where I'm coming from, right? Like lately the WWE's been really, really gung-ho about wanting to get Conor McGregor, right? So they've been paying attention to Conor McGregor and UFC and how his fights go. They've been paying attention to Ronda Rousey for a long, long time. And it feels like this, again, because I haven't seen the match, so I can't tell you for sure, but it sounds like the ending of this match was motivated by, like, it was inspired by UFC of like, oh shit, he got clocked or he got hit hard all of a sudden, and then it's just immediately over. It's a sudden victory instead of something that's prolonged and scripted. And that shock value is good for one reason, because shock value is fun sometimes. It's also good because it keeps Goldberg looking as good as possible before having a real match, right? And I don't think it hurts Lesnar like it would have in the past. Because I think what they'll do is they'll frame it like what I just said. They'll frame it as Lesnar just like fucking Heyman will come out. And here's the nice thing is if you're looking for the silver lining, in my opinion, Paul Heyman can't make the same promo he's been making for 2 years now. The first night, he can't make the same promo. So he's going to have to defend what happened. And I think what he'll do is he'll say, look, Lesnar was like, he picked, what was it? He picked him up and threw him into the corner, you said?
Yeah.
So he did that just to test Goldberg. And then he just wasn't, and he'll make an excuse of like, he wasn't in it. He didn't he was just trying to test him. And then all of a sudden Goldberg thinks it's a fight and spears him or whatever. And like, you know what I'm saying? I think they can frame it. And what they'll do is they'll say, well, do it again. Cause that was an anomaly. That was weird. So that's what I think happens. I don't think this is like a crisis for Brock Lesnar of now he's beatable. And because I think what will happen is if it's not they're doing a second Lesnar Goldberg match or a third one, if you want to use that fucking disgrace from 10 years ago. If they're not doing that, I think what happens is somebody comes out and they just say, "Hey, I saw you last night. You're beatable," and then Lesnar will fucking obliterate them, and then it'll be like, "Oh, so he's still Brock Lesnar. He's just they're doing this for the Goldberg feud." That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, I don't know. And by the way, I don't know where Daniel Price gets his information from, but I don't know if Cena's really having a tantrum because Goldberg was brought in and got paid a shitload. I think Cena is getting paid a shitload enough to go do his American Grit show. Thank you very much.
I think Cena's being paid so much that he doesn't give a shit about
Exactly. Cena doesn't give a fuck about
he does,
another
but
person
he doesn't.
paid.
Yeah, I think he's like, cool, good, you got your money, awesome.
But anyway,
I don't know.
So like, here's my question now. So why? I guess it's just because it was John Cena. The last time there was a job or squash match between Brock Lesnar and somebody, but somebody can't complain about this one, but then love the Brock Cena squash match.
I think you can judge them all individually because they're different people in different situations and stuff. I just feel like, okay, well, let's look at it this way. What are the options between a Lesnar Goldberg match, right? So if we're looking at it from like, okay, Lesnar's going to win. How do you do it? It's going to be a lot of suplexes and an F5, and then probably another F5, and Goldberg will make a comeback, but then he'll get silenced with an F5. Like that's all I can really think of, right? It's just the usual for Lesnar is that he dominates, and it's a little more drawn out because he hops around the ring and whatever. If Goldberg's going to win, and you've made the decision, okay, Goldberg's going to win, what's the best way to make him look good? Probably this. Like I can't think of a prolonged match is going to make people like really happy to see him a second time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like it's more motivated towards we want Goldberg for another match than anything else.
Well, personally, I hope that...
And it's all opinion, so who fucking knows? But
I know. Personally, I hope that Goldberg does not do another match because I think that would be silly.
Oh, he's totally doing another match. You think they're going to fucking let it go after that? No way. No, they won't. Dude, they just made so much money for WrestleMania if they're going to have him fight. Okay, so let's look at the people that Goldberg could probably fight. I think they'll probably do an older star, someone closer to his generation. So it'd be like Cena or – because I don't think he and Cena ever fought. Maybe they did. I don't know. He could go up against Triple H. They had feuds in the past. I mean, if you want to go kayfabe-wise, Triple H put a bounty on his head back in the day. So he could, like, team with Seth Rollins against the Authority or something. You could do another Lesnar match. I think that would probably be the worst decision. Undertaker's still around. You could do that, but why the fuck would you want Undertaker to be concussed and in a wheelchair for the rest of his life? So, I don't know. And then maybe you do a younger guy. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but could. I don't know, man. It's just weird. I'm not shocked or excited, really. I'm just like, part of me is I do love Goldberg from like a nostalgia of seeing him as a kid and stuff. So hearing that was kind of like, my first reaction is, huh. And I think that's exactly what I said to you is like, okay, that's not what I expected. I'm not shocked or anything. I'm just like, oh, cool. They did something different. I'm intrigued now. But part of me, like a small part of me is just like, yay, Goldberg. So, I don't know.
I mean, look, the reason why I'm interested in seeing what happens here is because it's something different. It was something unexpected. And something unexpected alone just pops me these days because anything. Well, I'll tell you because we talked throughout the night on our DMs,
Yep.
but throughout the night, anything Raw related pissed me off, and mostly everything SmackDown related just put a smile to my face.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, and again, it's the biggest failure, and it's the reason why I turned it off for the night, is the biggest failure of WWE consistently is they don't understand the where the people are on a certain thing. So they book like in blindness. They don't understand that like we feel a certain way about something, and right now, in particular, we like SmackDown, and you can look at it from the stats. The SmackDown views are up, the Raw views are down. So, I mean, man, it's just for me. For me, common sense would dictate is okay. They like SmackDown right now. We ought to have SmackDown win the day. That just makes sense to me. As like if I'm trying to please fans, and I have things where I'm like, okay, that sounds smart.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my perspective. But it was just a combination of they didn't get it, plus they set up all these cool stakes of having like ramifications, and then they follow through on none of them. Sami Zayn gets cheated, and I'm okay with Sami Zayn getting cheated in a vacuum, but that vacuum also includes Daniel Bryan stepping up to Miz and saying, no, that's not how we do things on SmackDown. Him going to Mick Foley and say, can we do a rematch? Because I'm not having my champion act like this. Like, so I hope they do that in the future because that's where it should go. But I think everybody assumed Sami Zayn was going to win the title, and then the Cruiserweights were going to go to SmackDown. Well, both of those things are interesting, right? And we got none of it. And we got Raw winning decisively on everything. And it was just like, okay, I'm not watching Raw. So, like, fuck off. Yeah, Dana Price says Brian should have restarted that match. I think it should have. I think you're totally right. I think he should have immediately come out and been like, nope, I'm not letting you win like that. He's backstage. He's watching the match. Of course he should have done that.
How many times could he have done that, though, in the past and didn't?
I know, but like I think this is the point where he just says, where he goes out there and shouts and says, I'm done with this. We're not doing this anymore. Ring the bell, restart the match. I mean,
and then again,
and you can tell an easy story there. Where
in this particular instance, where he didn't do it, it's kind of a selfish thing because that, restarting the match in this instance could mean that the Intercontinental Championship goes to Raw.
But that's what the good guy would do. You would be willing to potentially get hurt to do the honorable thing. And I think that's where the story could have been told, where Daniel says, hey, look, part of me not stepping in before this is just, this is a new job to me, and I'm trying not to get in everyone's face and be overbearing and stuff, but we cannot have this on my show. Like, that's where, like, there's an easy justification there. And it's just...
Oh, but and speaking of baby faces doing the things that you just said, remember that just the other day, Bayley was involved in a 5-on-1 beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, they don't give a shit about that. That's the problem, man. It's part of the big overscoping problem where like WWE doesn't get. They either don't get or they don't care. They don't understand where the people are on certain opinions on certain wrestlers. That is stupid. I'm getting a public relations degree. That's literally my job as a public relations. Fucking getting trained in public relations is knowing that shit. So that really bugs me. But so like part of it is you got to know where the fans are on a subject before you book something. That's just being smart and educated. but also part of it just seems like they don't care. They don't care enough to be meticulous about things. They don't care enough about their characters to really try to do right by the characters themselves. So, like, why the fuck should I care if Bailey's being billed this way and then acts in a different way? Why should I even be invested? Like, why would I even bother if I'm just going to get upset about it? So, that's where I'm at. That's why I turned it off. So,
yeah, and the where did you end? Where did you turn it off?
I turned it off. I wanted to turn it off as immediately after Fandango got pinned. I waited it out, and then I saw American Alpha get pinned, and I was like, fucking Christ. And then I waited out a little further, and I watched the club get pinned by fucking Rhino, and I said, nope, I'm done. So I turned it off there. I'm assuming that SmackDown won that tag team. No, they lost. I remember looking at that.
Yeah.
So okay. So yeah, I when all these people that I care about are just getting wronged, like fucking Rhino and Slater are beating the club, the Bullet Club. Come on, fucking part timers who's 45, running for fucking.
Who pinned Enzo and Cass?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't see that part?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they came out. They came out and started talking. I just fucking muted that shit because I was like, nah, not dealing with that. I muted about half the show because commentary also was god awful.
Well, they kept switching people in and out. Why the fuck are they doing that?
Because
so instead of having, oh my god, that's loud. Oh, where did that come from? Okay, that was me. That was on a fucking.
Yeah, that was you.
That was a tab that I had open. Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me. Oh, I'm doing the Photoshop for the thumbnail right now, and I just hear something pop up. It scared me. Oh god, where was I? You're supposed to help me here, fucking tag team partner.
We're like Sheamus and Cesaro. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, it was who
changing out the
who defeated Enzo and Cass. I mean, I'm guessing Usos.
I love, by the way, that New Day got pinned almost immediately. That was nice.
That was just sad because I couldn't even enjoy that because I was too busy being pissed at Fandango getting immediately killed. That's not cool.
Well, New Day is dickbags, so
I don't know. I really did enjoy Graves and Ronaldo when they were doing the cruiserweight stuff, though. That was fun.
I didn't even watch the cruiserweight stuff. Oh yeah,
Jesus.
How about the fact that the cruiserweight division, because Vince deems it so, will be working Mondays and Tuesdays because fuck us all, right?
I mean, I'm not super pissed about that or anything. I'm just like, well, okay, cool. I mean, it's just dumb. I guess that's what they're planning to do is they're planning to have more cruiserweights or something. But I don't care. I don't care about the cruiserweights no matter how much I want to because they're just shit and WWE will never treat them right. So why do I care?
Yeah, essentially.
So I'm at.
So sad that hey,
fucking love Noam Dar. Fucking love.
Couldn't come a little bit longer after the Cruiserweight Classic, not immediately.
I don't know, man. I just don't know. And I fucked the Cruiserweight singles match ending too.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm just. The emotions are coming back. We're just like, fucking Christ. I heard about that and fucking Corbin. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense, but I guess for Corbin's character, it makes sense because Corbin doesn't give a shit. And that was a doesn't give a shit move.
Yeah, but if he's healthy enough to do that, he's healthy enough to fucking be in the main event or the 5-on-5.
Well, right, yeah, because that's essentially
so, like,
wasn't there in the first place.
If he's healthy enough to be there, he's healthy enough to wrestle. Why would he be there if he's not wrestling?
Just to fuck over the
Oh,
cruiserweights.
I guess. And to fuck over all of us in the process.
Which is what WWE loves. Is just
Baron, no lubricant Corbin, just fucking ramming himself in there.
WWE thinks that doing heel moves like that actually benefit, but I don't really think that's the case.
It goes back to the fucking thing I read about somebody talking about how Vince said the funniest thing to him is somebody who's not suspecting getting who I don't remember where I read this, but someone either interviewed him or something, and they asked him what the funniest thing to him was, and Vince said it's when someone who doesn't know what's happening gets pushed into a pool. Like, that's just how he books his shows. Like, ha, ha, ha. I think that's where it's like he knows that we like SmackDown. Okay, cool. SmackDown loses. Ha, ha, ha. And you'll be back and giving me money because I'm a fucking amazing person. Ha, ha, ha. So,
Well, it's almost, I think that was a fantastic imitation of Vince McMahon. You did very well on that.
thanks, man. That's something
lying.
I've been trying to perfect.
I'm lying. But anyway,
That was a dry response as well. I knew you were not being serious.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing was the women's match, which was all right, but the ending was just silly. Like, I'm sorry, but
It just could have been done better. It was mediocre, which is WWE's brand name or brand slogan. Then, now, forever mediocre.
Pretty much, yeah. And just the fact that I'm now supposed to feel sympathy for Bayley now, who not only did committed to the 5-on-1 beatdown on SmackDown, then also destroyed Becky right beforehand. And now I'm supposed to feel sympathy for her?
I don't know. I don't care.
Me either.
I'm not watching Raw.
Me either.
So I'm probably not watching SmackDown this week either. I've got schoolwork to do, and I don't care enough after this pay-per-view. So I don't care enough to tune in tomorrow and see what Goldberg or Lesnar has to say. I mean,
and the problem, this is the problem. SmackDown cannot mix with Raw anymore because it makes it brings down the mood even for SmackDown. It's unbelievable.
No, I mean, I don't think that's the case. I think the problem is just so rampant that it's hard to specify where it starts. Like the fucking slogan, brand or fantasy warfare just got real, and the fact that the wrestlers are saying it and they're acting like it's a fucking real thing. No, it's advertising. We all know that's bullshit. Everyone knows advertising is bullshit because we're bombarded with it all fucking day. You see it everywhere. It's on the radio. It's on television. It's everywhere. So, like, when you hear that, you're just like, okay, fuck off. And then they try to wrap that into the wrestlers giving promos. So I'm immediately like, fuck you. I don't want to hear you. And then so that's part of it. And then, like, there is something cool about having AJ Styles and KO squaring off, except they never did. So.
No, they didn't, actually. That's right.
I mean, I think that these brand warfare things, quote unquote, could be done well. They could be done really well. And they have been done really well in the past. That 5-on-5 for, I think it was 2001, where Angle turns on Austin or something. That one was really good. Like, they can be done well. It's just they aren't usually. And when they're not, they're just fucking mediocre and sad. So, I don't know.
Was there something else I'm trying to think?
I mean, unless you want to talk about NXT real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about the only thing that really mattered on NXT, and that was #DIY. And probably one of the best matches that I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, Drew called it his match of the year. I think it's up there, but not match of the year. But it was really good. It's again, I got to see that match live, by the way, back in February. Those two had a match on a house show, and I was there, and that was fucking amazing. Those two teams, the Revival and Gargano Ciampa, are just they're spectacular. They're both better than anything on Raw and SmackDown right now. But that's crazy because you know that Usos and American Alpha and the Club and a couple others are capable of reaching that level. They're just not being given the opportunity. But I think the Revival is the best heel anything in wrestling on WWE anywhere.
Absolutely.
They're best. They are the best heel. Like you would think the best heel, but they're the best heels essentially in WWE. They are so good at
Making you hate them.
and they do it. They cheat unrepentantly, and they're so good at it. The refs don't even realize what they're doing. They do it seamlessly. They get under people's skin. They work body parts super well, better than anyone else. That's part of it. But I think the biggest thing that makes them so great as heels is, we always think about like high spots and stuff for baby faces, and you leave the high spots to the baby face, they can pop the crowd and all that stuff. And I think all that's bullshit. I think the biggest thing that a heel needs to be good is that ability to create suspense. And the Revival do it better than anyone else. I swear to God, in every big match they have, it feels like the other team has won like 3 times. Where usually you're like, okay, here's where they'll come in and break up the pin attempt or something. It doesn't feel like that with their matches. It feels like this is it. They're fucked. They can't win this. And then all of a sudden, one of them comes running out of the camera and sweeps the leg onto the rope or something. And it's just like a lunge of desperation. And that's what they do better than anything else. Like that.
They're so good
at being, man.
They're so good at being absolute pieces of shit.
Yeah, and they're not even that awful. Like, they don't even play. Most heels play to the crowd and stuff. Like, they don't even play to the crowd much. They're just beating people up in the corner, looking at the ref, make sure he's not watching. Like, they don't even acknowledge the crowd for the most part, which is great. That's honestly the only way to be a heel nowadays, is just to ignore the crowd. So that's. I'm just happy with them. They're good. They're fun. And DIY again, they're spectacular too. It takes 2 to tango. You got to be good yourself if you're going to have a match that caliber. So that's really cool.
Incredible. Okay, gonna be a little less manly for a second, but manly enough to admit it. They have been the only people in my history of watching wrestling that have made me emotional 2 times in 1 year.
What did they do?
The first was their CWC match together.
Yep. That was stellar. That was really good.
And then last night.
Yep. Okay.
It was because I was and I was telling you in the DMs last night too, that I was getting a little pissed off at the fact that they were cheating so much. And they were even cheating in front of the ref at least one time, and the ref did nothing about it. And then it was like sweet victory for both of those douchebags to tap out at the same time.
I liked the double tap. That was really well done booking. I'm sure that came from Regal or Triple H, one of the two. It's very smart. Very, very smart. I'm hoping they're getting called up.
That would be really cool.
Don't count on it, but I hope they are. But
now, which brand do you think they go to if they get called up, or when they get called up? Really, I bet this is the only thing that justifies it is Triple H, or not Triple H. Vince looks at him and goes, "Can't have 2 bald teams on the same brands," and they'll go to SmackDown. Otherwise, them and the Club. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's true.
That's my opinion.
We don't want too many bald guys on one side.
Oh man, I'm in a bad mood.
I know you are.
Probably because I have to write so much fucking papers.
What about Joe and Knock? Do we? I know. I know.
I didn't watch the match. I turned it off. Turn it off mid-match. Fuck Samoa Joe.
Oh man.
I will never support that dweeb. Never.
I mean,
Balor Club for life.
I understand, but Seth did something way worse to him.
Hey, Samoa Joe, if you're listening to this, suck a dick. Any dick. Find one, suck it.
I mean,
and Balor, better than you.
Be a little bit reasonable.
I'm a mark and I will not apologize. What?
Be a little bit reasonable about this.
No.
Samoa Joe did not injure the man.
I'm not going to be reasonable about anything regarding Samoa Joe. He doesn't get to beat Demon Balor and be happy. No. I will antagonize him however I can. Even if it's only like vicariously through his fans. Fuck him.
Okay, so swerving away from Joe, let's talk about Nakamura losing in his first title defense on a pay-per-view. What do you think that was about?
I mean, they got plans to call him up, obviously.
You think he's going to get called up so soon?
Not immediately, but they're going to call him up. I think they'll do a rematch and then, call up. So when's the next takeover?
Fuck if I know.
So I think what you see is Nakamura in the Royal Rumble.
I think actually
that's his debut.
It should be before the Rumble. So I think they're doing if I remember correctly, I read that they're going to do a takeover the day before every major pay-per-view.
So the 4 major ones?
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll do it the day before SummerSlam. He'll have his rematch. He'll lose. He'll be in the Royal Rumble. That's my thought.
Okay.
And Balor will get to eliminate him.
I don't. Awesome. So you think that they just had to do a 50-50 here because they have?
I don't think it's 50-50 when it's only 2 matches. It's when they have more than that is when I start calling 50-50. But no, I think they did that because they're going to call him up and they're going to leave Joe in there until next summer.
God, that long?
Yeah, I mean, Samoa Joe, who cares? No one gives a shit about Samoa Joe.
Nobody named Alex.
No one gives a shit about Samoa Joe. I will say it again.
No one, meaning
especially Alex
Briggs. No, you have to be.
Well, thanks for giving my last name away, fucking Mark. Piece of shit.
Oh, this is not the first time your last name has been given away.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, I thought TakeOver was pretty decent. I thought Mickie James brought some interesting new flair because, she'd never been in NXT before. And when was the last time she was on in WWE? Was it like 7 years ago?
I think. Something like that. I'll look it up for you. But I didn't think she was stellar. I didn't think that match was that great. I thought it was okay. It wasn't like an embarrassment or anything.
No, I thought she did pretty well. She performed.
But the women's division in NXT is just, it's Asuka, and that's bad. That's not good. They need to fix that. Yeah, so she left in 2010, 6 years ago.
No, it's right before I came in.
In 2013, James served as a guest trainer at the Performance Center for a week. So she's, stayed in contact, essentially. She also made a country album that I'll never listen to. She made 2.
Oh, God.
They were released in 2010 and 2013. No, thanks.
No, thank you. Not even a fan of country music anyway.
No, thank you.
Are you a fan of country music?
No, not usually. I don't hate older country, but that newish bullshit is gross. It's the same shit as pop. It's fucking awful. It's just catering to another fucking crowd that they can. Need to direct you to a Bo Burnham song about that. I'll tell you my feelings on country music pretty well,
Uh,
or modern country music.
anyway, so that's the show. We're pretty much
Yeah,
done.
I'm bored. I'm not watching Raw or SmackDown this week, I don't think.
Well,
What about you?
you have a legitimate reason to not watch SmackDown. I will actually be working on Tuesday night, so I won't be watching SmackDown either.
Oh, that's a shame.
Um,
Record it or something, I guess.
I don't have a cable box, so can't do that.
well, folks, we tried.
You know, I have to think going forward, we may not be live tweeting the major pay-per-views only because they're so fucking goddamn long.
No, I mean I'm cool with tweeting them. I've got schoolwork this week. That's the problem. Otherwise, I would have jumped in.
You want to tweet a 6-hour show?
Drew was being a bitch and having a headache and be like, "Oh, my head hurts. I can't tweet my head." So that's why we didn't tweet tonight. But I'll do it going forward if I'm not.
You want to tweet a 6-hour show?
I wouldn't do the whole thing because half of it's pre-show. I would do the main card. Why would you think to do anything other than the main card?
You're disgusting.
What's wrong with me? Whatever.
First of all, you made fun of me in a very high-pitched voice, which was not cool because I don't sound anything like that.
First off, it wasn't very high-pitched. It was just like,
It was gay. That's what it was.
No. Hey, there may be gay people listening to this that would be sad with you saying that. You need to be sensitive to people.
There may be
You need to be sensitive
gay person.
You need to be sensitive to the gay rights of America, considering some people who are now ruling the country may not be. We're a family, damn it. So when I say suck a dick, I say it out of love for gay people.
Maybe some gay people would.
I'm saying to employ some empathy and go suck a dick for like the empathetic reasons. Like, okay, now I can relate to you. I'm just trying to get us all to grow closer to each other here, people. That's all I'm after.
Cuddles and sick dick sucking.
One dick sucking at a time. By the way, suck a dick, Samoa Joe.